Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm going to be doing some book recommendations. I'm going to be focusing on one of my favorite romance tropes, and that is the fake dating trope. So today I'll have 5 books to talk about. I will link them all down below and I would love to hear if you've read any of them and what your favorite fake dating books are, and let's get right into it. The first one I have to talk about I'm sure you guys have heard of before, and that is the Unnie Mooners by Christina Lauren, and this one just came out in May. This is about our 2 main characters named Ethan and Olive, and they were both in the same wedding. So Olive's twin sister is getting married and she's getting married to Ethan's brother, and they are both part of the wedding party. And it just so happens that the seafood buffet that everyone eats is contaminated, so everyone gets really sick at the wedding. But the only 2 people who did not have the seafood buffet were Olive and Ethan, and so they end up taking the honeymoon from the bride and groom. But the only catch is they're going to have to pretend that they are newlyweds to take advantage of everything that is on this honeymoon in Maui, and they really don't like each other, and so it's a hate to love as well as a fake dating, fake married type of thing. And this was so much fun. It was really funny. It had so many funny aspects to it. I think that was my favorite part about it. And it wasn't too serious, it wasn't too steamy. It was just a lot of fun and perfect for the summertime. The next book I have to talk about is Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey, and this one is about a girl who her family owns a kind of fixing up company to fix up houses, and she is literally a clown, like a party clown, so her family doesn't take her seriously whatsoever. They all work for the family business and she doesn't, and she's always had a crush on her brother's best friend, and he comes back into town because he has an injury while playing baseball and he can't do his job anymore, and now he kind of feels like he's lost all motivation and he doesn't know what he's going to do with his life. And so he comes back into town and he's known as a party boy and a playboy, but he needs to clean up his image to be able to do like sports casting and things like that. Whereas our heroine, she really wants to be taken seriously, and so they decide to start fake dating to kind of clean up the images of both of them, and they're kind of finding themselves, and it's their love story. It's really cute. It's a lot steamier than the cover makes it seem, and I've heard a lot about this one lately and I really enjoyed it, and it's a really cute small town romance. The next book I have to talk about is My Life in Shambles by Karina Halley, and this is my first time reading this author and I really enjoyed this one. And our heroine in this story just gets dumped and kind of loses everything in her life, and she decides to take a trip to Ireland with her sisters and just kind of get away from everything. And she meets a sports star. He plays rugby. His name is Padraig, I think is how you say it. And he's really big and burly, and they have a really steamy one-night stand, super steamy. And in the morning she expects that they're kind of just gonna part ways, but then he randomly asks her to come to his small hometown and see his dad who is dying and pretend to be his fiance. And she says yes, while in Ireland. And so they go and they do that, and it is their romance. It was really good. It had some serious aspects to it. There are deeper things about Padraig she didn't know about, and she kind of quickly unravels those things. But it is a really good heartfelt romance, and it is also a really good fake engagement story. The next one I have to talk about is Faking Miss Right by Claire Kingsley, and this is about a girl named Everly, and she is assistant to a really famous businessman named Shepard Calloway. And she's had no success in her love life, but she really loves her career. And Shepard has also had no success in his love life because he's always dating gold diggers. And he discovers that his dad has started dating his most recent ex, but because his dad is going through some tough things in life, he doesn't want to kind of spoil that relationship for them. And so he decides instead to get a fake girlfriend, and he asks Everly to move in with him and be his fake girlfriend. And of course it is really complicated because that's his employee, and of course feelings get involved and some crazy things happen. And this one was a lot of fun. It was funny, it was sweet, and also really heartfelt. I was surprised about that aspect. And I absolutely loved reading this author. It was my first time reading something by Claire Kingsley, and I can't wait to read more by her. The next one I have to talk about is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata, and this is my first time reading something by her, and her books are really long, so I was really intimidated, but it was so worth it. And I've heard that Mariana Zapata just writes the best slow burn romances, and I would have to agree. This is about our main heroine who works for a sports star. She is his personal assistant, and he is pretty rude to her, and he's always just been demanding and never really says hi to her or take any interest in her as a person. Finally, she saves up enough money to quit, and she puts in her notice and leaves, and she thinks he doesn't care. But then suddenly a couple days later, her old employer, he shows up at her doorstep and begs for her to come back. And he also has a weird proposition that he wants her her to marry him because he is Canadian and he wants to get his green card. So he needs to marry someone, and he offers to pay her to do it. At first she says no, but then she thinks about it and she agrees, and they would stay married for like 5 years just so he gets the green card. And of course she moves in, things get complicated and feelings get involved, and this was such a slow burn romance. So if you love slow burn romances, this will be for you. Nothing romantic really happened until the last like 50 pages of like a 400-page book. So if you don't like slow burn romances, you won't like this, but if you do, this one is for you. It is so good, and it's a sports romance. It is just so many good things. So those are 5 fake dating romance recommendations I have for you guys. I'd love to hear if you've read any of these. I will link them all down below, and I will see you guys on my next one. Bye.